Good evening, and welcome to Go Go Power Vampire the Masquerade. Welcome to London by Gaslight, a late Victorian age Vampire the Masquerade chronicle set in 1892. Awakening for the night in the City of London this week is Eveline, the daughter of Cacophony, portrayed by Miss Hutz. Please do a rouse check to awaken from your torpor state. Gain a hunger. Audrey of the Clan of Shapers, portrayed by Bully from Tablegoth, who this week is still covered in lilies that he is unable to get rid of himself, and will incur a -1 penalty to all his social roles. Please do a rouse check to awaken from your torpor state. Wonderful. Thurston of the Nosferatu, portrayed by Zord on Typat. Please do a rouse check to awaken from your torpor slumber. You gain a hunger. Inspector Grey, from the Clan of the Hunt, portrayed by Noscavian. Please do a rouse check to awaken from your torpor slumber. You gain a hunger. That's what you get for shooting off early. Your only fans won't tolerate it, and neither will I. It's going to be one of those games. We begin this week in Aldrich's lab. Aldrich is deep in his laboratory and is prepping to start work on his favourite ghoul. His surgical table is laid out, and Aldrich even took the time to wipe it down with a slightly soiled cloth. His ghoul walks into the lab, pulling on a fairly large cage with a thick, dark blanket over it. Heavy breathing and the occasional growl emits from under the thick cloth, and the man greets his master. "Boss! You said you wanted, this? And to do something to my brain? Like, remove all the bits I don't need and make me stronger, harder, faster, better."
Right, I believe those were my exact words. I'm quite excited for this, and I hope you are too. If you're ready, I am ready. Let's get to work.
Do you want me to lay down on that?
Right, yes, please, now.
Alright. And he will just plant himself down. Boss, is this going to hurt much?
No. Probably not.
Alright then.
You know what? You're one of the good ones. I'll make sure to remove the part that senses pain first, and then we'll take it from there. That part will hurt a lot. Then after that, you'll be fine.
What a caring boss you are. We couldn't ask for better.
You really can't. I remember all the things I had set up for this. The cage has the dog or wolf.
Yep.
Or is this a cage with a person? What do you have? What am I missing?
This is the cage with the thing with 4 legs.
Perfect. Right. Yeah, then Aldrich will get to work using all the bits from his generous donor on a wolf. Specifically, since he couldn't capture one himself, he's going to do what he can to make his own werewolf. He's got a wolf, he's got a person. In theory, you swap enough parts together, you should be able to make one of your own, since he couldn't have one, and he's decided he wants one. So that is Aldrich's project. He even has some vials of werewolf blood. He thinks he might be able to use some of that to get things just right. Or this will be a terrible experiment gone wrong that he will have to put down.
Do your flesh crafting roll for me, please.
This is important. I'm rousing. Four? I'm gonna go for more too. I don't know if it's necessary, but I'm doing it.
Okay.
So potentially get a crit. I did not. 6.
I will inform you of your success or failure in PM after the game.
Excellent.
Did you want to do anything to the remains of your heavy-handed?
Oh, I see what the actual intention was here. Never mind. Yeah. I mean, I keep them around. I don't let any meat go to waste.
Yeah, you've probably got enough spare parts to do that one thing you wanted with him.
Perfect.
Okay. Flesh crafting again.
We'll
Please.
We'll get into that. Keep browsing. Six.
That will definitely be a success. Is there anything else you'd like to do before we move on?
No, that's a good night's work.
Definitely. Eveline is in the West End, searching various theatres and clothes shops that pique her interest. She catches sight of what appears to be Alistair on the other side of the busy street, and wondering what he's doing, she crosses the road to investigate, but loses sight of him in the hustle and bustle. She turns to go back to investigate one of the many clothes shops that make up the area, but as she turns, she is confronted by a young man, who gives her a slightly disconcerting smile. Miss Eveline! Fancy seeing you here. What a surprise.
There you are. Apparently, your caretaker's been looking for you.
Oh, has he?
He came to me wondering if I'd seen you. He's very worried.
Did he really? Have to excuse me, I was snacking on a Frenchman and it got stuck in my throat.
Are you okay?
I'm perfectly fine. Although I was wondering if you would be so kind as to maybe take me to where you live, please?
That's an odd request.
I'm so sorry, Miss Eveline. Allow me to say it again. Take me to where you live.
What do I roll against that?
Resolve and, intelligence and resolve.
I don't think so.
Sticking with it?
Oh. Yeah. Oh, okay. Are you ready to go now?
Yes. Let us move now. He'll stick his arm out for you to hook into.
Oh, take it.
Eveline escorts young man back to the Whitechapel house. She walks up the
As we
short...
walk.
Oh, please.
You're much more talkative and confident.
It's all thanks to your perfect stirrings.
I'm glad I can help.
I've waited years for you.
You knew me?
No, of course not. But I have merely been waiting for you without realizing it was you I was waiting for.
Oh, that's so romantic.
Eveline walks up the short brick path to the front door, which opens for her as she approaches, inviting her inside. The young man is able to make it up to the doorstep, where he stops and looks back at Eveline, big green eyes, and asks her, "Would you invite me in, please?"
Same thing, intelligence and resolve?
Yep.
Of course, please come in.
Young man attempts to walk inside, but seems unable to place a foot inside the property. The look of effort bears heavily on his face as he struggles to enter the grand hallway. Finally, after much trying, he gives in as Eveline stands there staring at him, half amused and half concerned. Just like that. Why does this keep fucking happening? Eveline, you will forget any of this happened, young man sternly says as he stares into Eveline's deep eyes. It's going to be his subterfuge manipulation roll. I'm going to reroll 3 of them.
Do I roll against that?
If you'd like, you don't have to. If you do, it's be composure and resolve.
I mean, I'm not gonna make it, but I'm gonna roll anyway. No, I am re-rolling. I can't re-roll anything.
Just about to say, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, I was like, it's a small chance I'd get the beast. Yeah.
Your attempt to iron yourself against his resolve fails, and you hear the beast screaming in your head. You're able to restrain yourself from succumbing to your baser instincts, but at the cost of some of your own willpower. That'll take 2 superficial willpower.
Okay.
Young man walks off down the street as Eveline is left starry-eyed on the inside of the hallway. Young man mutters angrily to himself about this always happening, and that he will just have to keep on trying like he has been, as Eveline stares blankly forward until young man is no longer in earshot. When she blinks and closes the front door, forgetting all that just happened.
Did I bring any packages back with me?
You probably had enough time for some shopping if that's what you wanted to do.
If I didn't bring any back with me, I was just going to comment on it.
I can't think of anything in particular that you bring with you.
Bring back a new dress or something and put it up in my room.
Which brings us to tonight. The coterie amassed together in the meeting room within their domain, each taking their respective seat set aside for them and denoted by their clan symbol that rises higher than their head. Eveline, as always, is last to enter, making a grand show of things as she elegantly, gracefully glides towards her own chair and places herself daintily within it. The rest of the coterie begin their plans how they may proceed with the Setites within the city.
Right. Well, I believe we have a list of potential targets, correct? Well, I personally am interested in seeking out the one masquerading as a Ventru. In an opium den of all places. It hits close to home. But of course, I know there are other options as well, and I'm all ears.
No, we can't have competition now, can we?
My thoughts exactly.
It doesn't particularly bother me one way or the other which location we start as, so long as we investigate the 3 given to us.
The one masquerading as a Ventru does interest me.
Excellent.
A morbid curiosity.
Bit of that myself. And also, this is the one that, well, since Alistair seems to have gotten lost again, it seems like an opportunity to do this one with less of a headache.
That's one way to describe him.
Alright then. Do we have the location? Or do we just have the name? Storyteller, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm checking because I know you've got one of those. I don't remember which.
I have the name written down. I didn't
You've
remember
got the
if I
name.
forgot or didn't catch the location. Demnis, correct?
No, I don't know that one.
Oh, I wrote something wild down then. So Demnis, masquerading as Ventru, operating out of Opium Den.
Danvers.
Then I have Richard Burt. Danvers?
Danvers does sound right.
Yeah, it was Danvers, yeah.
That exotic accent of yours. Alright, that's what we got then. We have that. The Richard Burton, Rebecca Gray, all that. Okay. So we have the name, we do not have a location then.
Correct.
We might a couple options. I can see what I can find out from the boys about perhaps a rival den being operated by a Danvers. We can also ask in Elysium about this individual. If he is masquerading as a Ventru, someone must know something.
I'm assuming
Right.
you don't want to personally ask the Ventru.
Oh, I get along swimmingly with the Ventru. I love to ask them. But I'll check with my people first. And then we'll see if we have to do Elysium.
If we
I just
do have to
assumed
do-
you would know.
If we do have to set foot in Elysium, I can always ask some of my people too.
Well, I mean, we could do both as well, honestly. Full scope of the problem, but I guess we just need a location. I'm quite thirsty, so a place of business is a good place as any to ask around. I'll go through my notes and see what I have on the other gangs and whatnot.
Feeling a bit peckish myself.
Just as you decide to finish your meeting, one of Audrey's heavy-handed comes bounding up the stairs and knocks on the door. He attempts to open it first, closes it, then knocks on the door.
Right, come in.
Excuse me,
Not
it's
very
going to sound like I am
smart, are
having
they?
an asthma attack here. Or worse. But boss. Fucking hell. There's been a fucking job done on one of your opium places. A nice one in the West End. Ain't no one saying they done it. And when the rest of us arrived, I've got to quit smoking. It already happened. So I said to Harry, well, someone's got to tell the boss straight away. And Harry said, hey, you ain't going to be too pleased about it. I didn't want nothing to do with it giving you bad news. That was when Bill chimed in and he said that he would go. Harry thought he said that Chai should go on account of him owing us all a drink because he lost a bet about old Mary Fingers. See, none of us were sure why she was called Mary Fingers. See, her real name is Paula. Anyway, while they were all talking about it, I left and I came here to tell you. The only bit of good news from all this is that I guess that you can finally put some new workers in there like you said you was thinking of. You got a glass of water?
I do. What is the extent of the damages there?
I call
I don't know.
Sterling for a glass of water.
Oh, cheers,
Two
love,
glasses
cheers.
of water. 2 glasses of water.
Cheers, love, cheers. We don't know.
No, I only give him one. I keep one.
Well, I don't know. I came bounding down this fucking long.
You just
Long
spilled water
fucking
all
run.
over the place. I saw you hold the glass, and then I just saw you gesture with your hand. What are you doing in it? And now you've got the glass again. After you've just dumped half of it out on the floor.
It's all right. For some reason, things don't stay stained in this house for very long. It's fine. And I would normally say.
All right. What is the rest of the information you need to give me?
Thought you might like to go and have a look at the opium den.
Right. That's all I need. Thank you for your service. Enjoy what's left of your water, and please get out.
You're welcome, sir. Oh, fuck.
I hand him the other glass of water.
Thanks.
Don't spill this one.
I won't. Oh, fuck.
You don't get another.
All right. We know where we need to go. Let's get a bite to eat on the way. Oh, I suppose things have now gotten personal.
Let's get a bite on the way, and this time, it's personal. The coterie head out of the Whitechapel house, and each get inside Audrey's grand carriage. Is there anything you'd like to discuss, and where are you heading first?
To feed first, and then to the den.
Steam rooms, I take it, to feed?
Yes, that's Evelyn's one, right? Yeah. Actually,
Did you have more than two?
did, but there's been some management and things. I do remember all of the planning I've done. Oh no, I think the West End one was the main one, wasn't it? And that's the one that's been hit.
Right.
So yes, the other one.
Okay. And is there anything you wish to talk about on your way? Or just arrive?
Got
Sure you don't
nothing.
want to talk about anything on the way? Because I'm totally not having problems finding the Steam page.
Do you think there's a relationship regarding us planning to hit an opium den, your opium den being hit?
I was beginning to think
really.
the same thing, Inspector.
I would think so. Alright, especially since our visit to our Setite friend ended in the way it did. They are very much aware that we are on to them. They likely consider us enemies. So it seems maybe they're now making moves against us. In the way Setites do.
Indeed. Well, I suppose we will have to beat them at their own game, remove their blight, and maybe you can get some new businesses out.
And they owe me that much, at least, yes.
The carriage arrives outside the steam rooms. Each of the coterie head inside and are greeted by a woman that has most of her own teeth still on the front counter. Oh, Miss Eveline! This is my best peasant woman accent. Miss Eveline! Lovely to see. It's been ages. Your room, as always, is free if you would like.
That would be lovely, thank you. Can you also send in some company?
Of course, miss. What kind of company would you like?
Well, I believe maybe two excitable people. A gentleman and a lady. And if I remember right, a couple relaxed patrons? I say, looking at the other two.
I would not.
I understand, miss. 2 smackheads and 2 speedheads.
We don't cater to that type of people here.
No, but they cater to you.
They're patrons.
Of course, miss. Of course.
Spa patrons. Without the quotey marks. Patrons.
You are led to your own back room. It is laid out with resplendent paintings, with gold-plated frames and the like, and take yourself into a Venetian love seat, as everyone else takes himself in a rather large leather chair. Moments later, Lorman escorts 4 people back in. 3 men and 1 woman. Who would like to feed first?
When they come in, I will choose my obvious victim and lead him over to the couch. Set him down. Sit on the couch and like put my legs over him. Lean in and start singing a love song into his ear. And just as he's relaxed as a crackhead can get, I sink my teeth in.
Very nice. Evelyn extends her fangs and sinks them deep into the man's flesh, who lets out a pleasurable exhale of excitement as Evelyn feasts upon the vitae, letting it trickle down her throat to re-energize her system. You may slake 2 hunger, and you get your bonus +1 to a pool of your choice for feeding your addict merit. Who's next?
Is that just skills? Or can it be to traits too?
I believe, well, it's to a pool of your choice, and the pools are either physical, mental, or social.
Oh, okay. I've been restricting myself too much.
We're all thinking it, but we're going to move on. Who would like to feed
Only
next?
shit.
Looks of guilt on all of your faces said it.
I mean, it went over my head until you pointed it out.
Thurston, do your feeding roll for me, please.
Okie doke. Alright, so then tab over for that.
Thurston pins the man next to him down and extends his own jagged fangs, sinking them roughly into the man's flesh and extracting the vitae, feeling the warm liquid re-energize his own system as he sups upon his victim. You may slake 2 hunger, but do not go below 1. Who's next?
I'll go for it.
Go ahead.
4.
Audrey has no time to mess around. Simply pulls his prey close to him, throws him onto the couch, and restraining him, sinks his own fangs into the man's skin and flesh. Were it not such a pleasurable experience, the man might be slightly panicking, but fortunately the embrace is extremely pleasurable to mortals, and he lets out a very erotic, pleasured sigh as his hands lose all their power and Aldrich feasts upon the man's blood. You may slake 2 hunger and also add +1 to any pool of your choosing. Inspector Gray.
I will take a sip and try to feed for 1 blood point.
Do your feeding roll for me, please. Okay. Inspector Grey takes advantage of the mortal and is currently watching the scene unfold before his eyes and sinks his own fangs into the extremely tired man, extracting just a slight bit of vitae for his own self as the man sinks into the chair from the blissful pleasure of the embrace, the kiss of the embrace. You may slake one hunger. What would you like to do next?
On to the other den?
Indeed, I believe that should be our next course of action. We need to get this taken care of quickly.
I'll ask around what happened. I might have to do a bit of managing a crisis as far as finding clues and whatnot. I'll leave those to those of you who are experts at it.
During this whole conversation, I am still sitting on my victim's lap playing with his hair.
Fair. The coterie take Audrey's carriage to the short journey across the city to Audrey's own opium den. The thundering hooves and spinning wheels finally come to a close. This is what happens when I take way too many painkillers before a game. Finally come to a halt outside of the familiar site of Audrey's opium den, caters to the higher echelons of London's gentry. The street has various people moving along with their lives. None of them seem to pay the coterie or their carriage any heed. Several of Audrey's heavy-handed are standing outside the opium den, making sure no one comes in or leaves, just in case.
Approach them. Right, what is the situation at the moment?
Well, boss, we thought it best to leave it alone until you got here, because, what if we fucked it up? So we just made sure that ain't no one coming in, and there ain't no one going out. And since we've been here, ain't no one come in or gone out.
At least
All right.
there.
That is acceptable. And were any of you here when it happened? Or who should I talk to who might have more information?
Well, no one was here when it went down. What happened is, right, there was some screaming and almighty kerfuffle going on inside of there. And then word got out on the street. And eventually it was passed down to us and we heard about it. Because, you've got ears and eyes everywhere. You smell real nice tonight, by the way, boss. Is that a new perfume?
You should try some self-care sometime.
All right. We're coming through. And, we'll head inside. Forgetting I'm covered in lilies. I need to make a note.
The coterie proceed into Audrey's upper-class holding and find the reception area torn to pieces. Strewn lifelessly across the small wooden countertop is the body of the man that usually greets them as they enter. Blood is slowly seeping out, staining the wooden top and darkening the hard wood with his own crimson vitae. The usual curtain that separates the welcoming area to the open floor most customers frequent has been torn down, revealing the shattered remnants of the area used for customers to imbibe Audric's wares. Tables are broken, seats are smashed, mixed in with the wooden debris and broken glass are several bodies laying in pools of blood. All Audric's staff. Some are missing limbs with them being torn off. Others display heavy impacts as part of their bodies are impacted in. And this is an investigation scene.
I would like to check for the money box. See if it's where it's supposed to be, see if it's still there, see if there's anything in it. Evelyn has
Okey-dokey.
priorities.
Do for me. Would you prefer intelligence and
Yes.
investigation? Yeah.
Oops, I hit it in the wrong order.
Eveline starts to look around the reception area, trying to find the cash box. Unfortunately, with so much debris and chaos everywhere, she is unable to locate it.
Gray would like to inspect. Is there a body there? Is that what's bloody?
There are several.
Yeah, I would like to inspect some of the bodies.
Okay. That's definitely going to be intelligence and investigation.
Okay.
Can I assist him? Because I was going to search the pockets to see if they had anything in them.
Yep. Intelligence investigation or wits and awareness?
Intelligence and investigation. I thought I'd just add a +1 for him.
That's right. I'm gotta stop taking those painkillers.
I could roll an additional dice.
Just do the reroll with a +1 modifier. Wonderful. Blood is cold. The attack must have happened a fair bit of time ago, which lines up perfectly with the heavy-handed's report. Eveline, you'll find a few small coins upon the men.
I'll just take them and pocket them.
And what was it? Something that lined up with time of death?
The blood is cold, so the attack must have happened a fair bit of time ago.
Yes, the blood is cold. It's been some time. Do I have...
Would it seem like enough time where it would have happened during the day or night?
Very start of the night kind of thing.
Really was.
Would it be apt to use taste of blood in this situation? Just what information does that?
Which blood are you going to taste?
Yeah.
Yeah, that only,
Hold
I
on, I
believe
need to
that
read
only gives you
this to
information
see.
on supernaturals.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was not bringing it up, is I didn't think that we were seeing anything.
I mean, you don't tell
supernatural.
me if it belongs to a mortal, ghoul, or supernatural, but we know it's immortal. Yeah, I don't think it's going to give me any.
Or if they're Gould, we know whose Gould they are.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's not really going to give me anything relevant. It does. Okay.
Can I search around the way the place is torn apart? Can I see if they were specifically like if it was torn apart in certain areas more than others, like they were looking for something?
Wits and awareness for me, please. Prepared to stick with it or reroll?
Yeah, I'll reroll 2 of them. I almost hit willpower again. It's the WP reroll. Apparently no.
Would you like success at cost?
We just fed, so why not?
You see no discernible pattern as you move around the room. However, shining under the dim moonlight, you do find a small, strange pendant
I'm sorry, what?
A small, strange pendant,
Okay.
which you should now see in your journal. And as you do so, the beast inside of you begins to stir. You feel like you are not only the hunter, but also the hunted. You need to keep your eyes and ears peeled for trouble. It blows up into full paranoia, as the hunger reminds you of your own vulnerabilities. You try to disengage from any perceived threat, suspecting anyone and anything. Any action not taken towards that immediate end incurs a 2 dice penalty. This compulsion ends when you have spent roughly an hour in a safe spot. You are suffering from the paranoia compulsion.
My favorite one.
Nitro does this great.
Aldrich, I believe I found what might have been left behind by whoever did this, but this place is quite torn up. We should get out of here before they come back.
I mean,
It'd
if
be
they come,
convenient if they did come back.
right, that would solve all of our problems, System. But I appreciate you finding what you found. Does that tell us where to find the culprit?
No, but it clearly is of Egyptian, make. So I assume that it is the followers of Set that did this, which is exactly
Confirmation of all
that.
suspicions? That's good, at least. See,
creative.
I need to find where they are, though, right? Although I'm not sure if they left anything behind. A survivor would be useful. I might be able to actually help with that. Can I use my unliving hive to sort of move about the place and just check if there's anyone who seems like they have survived or might be able to be recovered?
Let's do that for wits and awareness. How does that sound?
Sure. Ooh. 0.
Would you like success at cost?
Sure.
You release the insects from within your chest cavity and allow them to search the entire facility. The only thing of note that you find are 2 objects. A name, which you perceive to be a name, scratched into a wood panel, and a map of London streets. Your upper-class opium den is marked on the map with a red circle. And as you do so, you have to control your unliving hive with slightly more vigor than you usually do, as you feel the beast inside of you screaming up for attention, and you end up willing it back down at the cost of more blood than you had hoped to expend. You increase your hunger by 1.
And that's the only thing marked on this map is where we are now.
And the name, or presumably name, is Nephron Ka.
A new name. Yeah, I'll bring that to the rest. Is this name familiar to any of you?
No.
Whoa, what is this? Nofran Khan?
Thurston, this isn't a kindred of some sort that your contacts will know about.
Potentially. I don't think I've heard of a kindred with that sort of name before. Reminds me of, I don't know, long dead Egyptian names rather than modern ones.
Perhaps it's an older Setite.
Right, well, either way, I suppose we have two names to track down now. I'm not sure they've left any more clues in this particular location. I'm gonna go instruct the men so they can come in and start cleaning up and doing what we need to be done.
Was there a spot that all of the goods were kept?
I mean, that'd be a stock room.
I would like to check the stockroom.
I'll let you do that for free, and it's relatively untouched. Nothing seems amiss, thrown about.
I'll yell out to Aldrich, "The merchandise is okay!"
This really was personal then. They didn't take money or product or anything of the sort. They just wanted to come in and hurt some of my people to let me know that they could.
Yes, hurt your people, cause them to be afraid to work here, and send you a message. This was all about sending you a message.
Well, message received then. Right, alright, we need to find out who these people are and where they are. If we don't have answers here, maybe Elysium is our next stop. On the way out, while giving instructions on sort of what to do and clean up, I will ask if either of the names are familiar to them, the Danvers or the Nephrim.
Danvers is a real posh name. You could try just asking around. I mean, what is it you're after exactly, boss?
The people who did this, right? Those are names that might be connected to this little incident. Danvers apparently is running a den of his own.
Have you tried asking any of the other hoity-toity folks where they go for a puff?
Oh, I assumed it was here. This is a fine establishment in a fine neighborhood.
Oh, it's perfect, boss. Don't get me wrong. I mean, before that, it was wonderful. But there's only so much room, and some people, they don't like a long walk home afterwards.
Right. It's not a bad idea. I'll see what I can't dig up.
Did you hear that, Harry? He said good things about me.
Go on. Yes, Thurston.
I still wouldn't mind stopping by Elysium. It seems like a safe place to be at the moment.
Right, we can do Elysium, and if nothing shakes out from that, Miss Eveline, perhaps we can find ourselves a nice event to go to, or a fancy gathering place, and have you have people spill their secrets.
Exactly what I was thinking. We could go to a theater.
Right. Alright, Elysium, then the theatre.
Coterie gather together once more in Audrey's carriage and head towards the main Elysium. It's a short ride, and they exit out, go up the long winding staircase and into the Elysium floor, finding it fairly quiet. Anything you'd like to do in Elysium?
Is there anyone on the stage?
There is no one on the stage.
I would like to get up on stage and just sing a quick little song.
Anything in particular you'd like to sing?
A little ditty. Something happy, upbeat.
Eveline gets upon the stage and does her own version of Hammer Smashed Face by Cannibal Corpse. There's a small wave of applause as people appreciate her deep, guttural growls.
Best growling in all of London.
A few
Are
kindred
there
even watch
any?
her as she elegantly walks off the stage, still clapping.
Are there any Nosferatu here that I would know? I don't want to go directly to the Harpy, but if there's someone else I can go to instead, I will.
Clara's here.
Cool. Now I'll go talk to Clara.
Thurston, my handsome young man.
Clara. Long time no see. How have you been?
I have been as well as can be expected. I have been watching over you with great interest.
That's good to hear. Wonderful. While I'm here, may I ask if you know anything about a few names? We were asked to take care of some people, and we're having difficulty at the moment locating them.
Let us find a more quiet corner together.
Right. I'll follow her over.
You'll find a small table for two in the dark away from the main floor. She'll sit.
Is there any way I could acquire flowers in Elysium?
Off of Aldrich.
Yeah, that's
Pick a
true.
couple flowers off of Aldrich, put them in a cup, and set them on their table and walk away.
Thank you, Miss Eveline. Clara will spread her hands across the table over yours. Thurston, it's been so long. Is there anything you wish to say to me? I've missed you so.
Well, that last vial that you gave me came in quite a pinch a few weeks ago, and it was quite delicious.
Would you like another?
I wouldn't mind if you could spare.
I was hoping you'd ask me for that. I make sure to always carry a fresh one every night, just in case for you.
I do look forward to finding them where you leave them.
Reach inside one of her pockets with just one hand, so she can still remain touching you. Pass you over a small vial surreptitiously. I keep
will
it close
use
to my heart just for you.
Well, we both know that that's a little difficult. Because I have her heart in a thing in my room. But I will keep it close to mine, and I'll use the hand that she stopped touching to put it in a breast pocket of my jacket or whatever I'm wearing.
Now, you said you wanted information.
Yes, we were tasked to take care of a few unsavory kindred, and, well, in our search for them, they've hit our coterie in our own practices, and we now have taken it personally. Do you know of any kindred by the name of Danvers or how is the other one pronounced?
Nefran Kar.
I say it just like that.
Well, there's nothing more intimate for us than to exchange information. So if I tell you, what will you tell me in return?
I don't know. What would you want to know?
How often do you think of me?
Quite. I
Go
honestly
on.
wish we visited Elysium more often because I don't get to see you very. And it was you I sought out for before going to ask the other Nosferatu. I'm glad that I happened to catch you here.
Can I hear any of this?
You could, if you want to, you could probably be, listening in.
If I throw my voice, will they both hear it, or would Thurston just hear it?
I don't think it's a mental-based power, really.
Yeah,
Show
no,
me
I
the
don't think
power.
so. So they'd both hear it. You wrote this. Keep in
I know,
mind,
but
you wrote this.
It was some time ago.
Well, I've got 2.
Phantom Speaker would be mental-based.
Okay. Then I would like to say to Thurston, tell her that you think of her in every waking moment.
I do often think of you in every waking moment. When I'm
What is
not
your
forced to think of something else.
What is your favorite feature of mine?
Without describing something's butthole, what are some features that are notable on Clara? Because
In
I just kind of
fairness,
picture.
her face is pretty similar to a butthole.
Her eyes. Always tell a woman her eyes.
She's not
I
wrong.
do. Yeah, no, I mean, I know. I was just trying to. I do love how the candlelight flickers over your oh so beautiful eyes.
Thank you, Thurston. She'll give a very moist blink you can actually hear. Nephron Carr is not a name that I know of. But Danvers, he's a fairly recent Ventru addition. Originally from outside the city, I believe.
That seems to be the one we are looking for.
You will want to go to the Golden Pipe. It's in Russell Square, overlooking most of the garden there.
Clara, you have been oh so helpful tonight. Thank you very much. And I actually won't immediately get up, but I'll stay seated with Clara until the others come to round me up.
You'll feel sharp, bony foot against your own sharp, bony leg.
Ow!
Don't act like you don't enjoy it, Thurston.
Oh wait, she wasn't kicking. Okay, I thought she was kicking me.
No, she's not that close.
Remember, Nitro doesn't have legs. This has never been done to him before.
Fucking
Yeah,
XP point
XP
for
point. Yep. Yep. She's right, you know.
that. So what are the people with legs doing? Losing faith in humanity, judging by Bully's face.
Yeah. I think Aldrich probably would have stayed in the carriage. Especially, I feel like Evelyn would have like plucked the flowers, or maybe even worse, came back, opened the door, took a flower, and went back in. But either way, he doesn't feel like explaining or socializing that. He's going to let the information gatherers do their thing. Just wait in the carriage.
Inspector Gray?
You're muted. You're
Still
muted.
muted. Well, I paid
Point
my
of
subscription
contact.
to your OnlyFans this month. I demand your voice.
Our point of contact for the Sedite mission was Dirk, right?
I believe so.
Is he here?
Yes.
I would approach Dirk then.
He'll stand, adjust his shirt slightly. Inspector Gray, would you care to join me?
Very well. I'll take a seat. His prompting. That mission we were on regarding the serpents, the snakes, the Sedite.
Yes, indeed.
We are endeavoring to root them out. It seems they've somehow caught wind and attacked one of our coteries' establishment. We've been doing some investigating and we've found 2 names, and I was curious if you had any information regarding either name. One is an individual named Danver, and another is an individual named Nurfran Khan.
Danvers. He is venture, impetuous young thing as well. Fairly wealthy. Apparently makes most of his money selling pharmaceuticals in the city.
He may have, knowingly or unknowingly, gotten tangled up with these Setites. We're moving to investigate. Tonight.
Really? How intriguing. Tell me more.
Well, at this moment, we don't know more. Just that the Setites were tracking a location, an establishment owned by.
So what you're saying is there's a good chance the Ventrue are wrapped up with the Setites right now.
Whether or not they are aware of it, it appears so.
Let's assume they are. It's more fun that way.
Then perhaps the Ventrue are playing at some sort of power game and they believe the Setites are a means to an end.
Or perhaps one is so young and foolish, it thinks it can take over the city from a god.
That does sound quite foolish, and something a young brash Ventrue may want to do.
That is what the Harpy is going to hear, and then spread.
That would be most interesting.
It'll be most fun to see the Ventrue taken down a peg or two, won't it?
They always have been a little too hoity for my liking. I prefer individuals who speak through their action.
Now, what was this other name you said?
Nefon Ka, or Nefer-Ka. Sounds Egyptian.
I've had some dealings on the continent of Africa. Ka is very familiar. I don't believe kindred name, though. It is an ancient name. I'm afraid my history knowledge of ancient Egypt is somewhat lacking.
Perhaps the name has some other significance, maybe a ancient figure of reverence, or perhaps someone finds it cheeky to name themselves after someone who is a mythological figure.
Perhaps. I believe Ka is related to guardians. That is their purpose. Some kind of guardian.
Hmm.
Though don't take my word for it, as I say, I'm no scholar on the subject.
Interesting. I'll let the others know that it's just a hunch, but perhaps we will be facing some sort of guardian. Perhaps it's a gargoyle. Who knows?
Gargoyle, you believe a stone statue has come to life and is wreaking havoc across the city?
Not at all. It's the only beast of burden guardian I'm aware of.
I'm unsure if gargoyles existed at this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not sure when they came in.
I don't know. In that case, very well, I'll let the others know that we might be dealing with some sort of guardian spirit or something of the sort. Wouldn't be our first time tangling with spirits.
Who are you going to call?
Some sort of ghost busting group, I suppose.
That would be
Very well,
wise.
thank you. Thank you for your time. It's been most enlightening.
Good evening, sir.
I'll give a polite bow and then.
Reuniting in the carriage?
Yeah.
Yeah, but just because I thought of this scene in my head, I want to say it out loud. As I get up from the table with Clara, um, I she's got
Oh no.
I'm going to assume that he was going to say a lovely bunch of coconuts. This is
He's
awkward.
thinking.
We'll just leave them alone to have a little alone time. You'll make it out to the
Eveline,
carriage.
I think Thurston's having a vampire stroke.
Who's saying this? Is that Clara?
Yeah.
He is just obviously enraptured with your beauty.
Well, that's obvious, but he's never been this still before.
I must say, you look particularly amazing tonight.
Thank you, Miss Eveline, and you as always are breathtaking.
Well, thank you.
Is it awfully bad of me that I feel like we should draw something on his face while he's in such frozen position?
Would you be able to tell?
Fair point, miss. How has he been since his tutoring lessons? Has he been a more effective Nosferatu for your coterie?
He has seemed a lot more competent.
Good, excellent. I'd hate for one of the hidden to be the cause of such trouble.
He was never much trouble, more entertaining than anything.
Well, I wouldn't want the Nosferatu to be thought of as court jesters either. Neither would Fagin.
Well, like I said, his abilities have definitely come far.
I must ask a sensitive question, if I may. Has he Has he taken a life?
I mean, I'm sure he does all the time.
Was it an innocent life?
I don't really keep track.
Oh, he seems to be moving now. What were you saying, dear Thurston? Nope, he's
He
having a
must have
stroke
woken up
again.
from his reverie. Or not. He came to for just a moment and then set his eyes on you. It was just more than he could take.
That would be perfectly logical. And now that he has steeled himself, perhaps he will be able to ask his question of me.
I'm sorry, what's going on?
What were you
We've been killing time till you came back.
I'm so sorry.
Me and Clara are all buddy now.
No, I
Just
just wanted
friends.
to describe the scene of as I left, I was going to caress her hand and then bring my hand up and wipe some of the whatever I wiped off her hand onto my face a little bit.
Romantic.
Mm-hmm. I thought of it while the inspector was doing his thing, and I was like, "This is gross. I want to say it."
That was worth stalling for. And the coterie leave Elysium and meet up once more, with Audrey inside of his carriage. The smell of lilies fills their nostrils as they enter. Is there anything you would like to discuss en route? I mean, there probably should be at least one thing.
I spoke with Dirk regarding our findings so far. He was quite interested to hear Danvers' name dropped regarding the setups. He was quite happy with it. Additionally, he said that he's not sure regarding the Nefun Ka, but does not believe it is a kindred or any kindred or individual. He says it's some sort of. Well, he's not sure, but he mentioned it might be a guardian of some. So perhaps we'll be dealing with some sort of guardian spirit or guardian construct. I know we've dealt with such things. I remember that animated suit of armor.
And they
Might be
animate a
I-
mummy?
what?
A mummy? Haven't you seen them? They take them around in the traveling shows. They're all wrapped up in cloth. It's very interesting.
Yes, I suppose someone could animate a body. I believe the clan Hakata often resurrect the dead for such things, animated corpses. Seems like it would make more sense to animate a fresher corpse, something that's not as decayed.
Indeed. Well, I too do not have any new information on the ancient's name, but I do have more information about a Danvers that we are looking for. It
Oh,
seems that Danvers is a new quote-unquote Ventru that has come in from outside the city, and from what I've gleaned, he could be, or they could be located in Russell Square.
Very good work, everyone. So they've employed some sort of ancient guardian type thing that we can be on the lookout, and we have a location. I say we go there right away.
I believe that would be a wise course of action.
The coterie arrives at Russell Square, a vast garden secreted away in the city among the blackened buildings and cobbled streets. Many of the buildings and houses have their lights out, but one building that seems to have had all its windows boarded up has an open doorway and light seeping out between the joins of the mismatched and warped planks of wood. The coterie confidently enter into the den and are met straight away by someone in the reception area, standing behind a countertop with cloaks hanging behind her. The young lady gives a forced smile, but politely addresses the coven of undead. Good evening, lady and gentlemen. Welcome to the Golden Pipe, a place of socializing and unwinding for those with a discerning taste. Before you may purchase anything, however, you must have a consultation with one of our 2 on-site doctors, so that we may give you a correct dosage. We do not wish to induce consumption. The dosage has to be correct after all. The consultation is of course free. We're not barbarians that charge for medical advice.
I would like to secretly cast Blush of Life as she says this.
Rails check for me, please. Gain a hunger. And you feel blood flowing once more through your body, returning colour to your cheeks, and the colour of blue to your veins.
Out of curiosity, is Mr. Danvers around by chance?
I believe he is regular here, although I'm uncertain if he is within. We've had a few comings and goings tonight. It's hard to keep track.
Oh, he's a patron of this place, then, right? I was under the impression you operated it.
Sometimes patron can also be owner. It's a little above my paycheck to know the owner, of course. I'm but a humble receptionist.
Right, alright, get us set up with our appointments.
Please, proceed through. Take a seat and perhaps order a drink. One of the doctors will see you as soon as they can. It won't take too long. It's fairly quiet at the moment.
Is this area, other people in this area, or is this like a private waiting room?
This is an open area. There's only a
Like a
couple of
lounge.
people here and there.
You have access to everything? Okay. Well, I see no reason why we should actually wait here then. We're already in. Thurston, do you mind doing a quick scan, letting me know if anyone is of our club?
Well, you kind of have to be more specific. I can't just do a broad sweep.
Well then,
I'll take a look over the room, looking not only for Kiner Kindred, but like what status they are.
Yeah, I think you'll be able to do that for free, actually. And you'll see that the very few people that are there are fairly high class, middle class at the lowest. None of them appear to strike you as anyone that is kindred. And as the coterie have gone through the long, thin curtain and into the main open area, they see booths lining the walls with a table between 2 comfortable-looking seats. Built into the centre of the table is what appears to be a large water bowl with several pipes coming off, so that many people may imbibe at once. In the centre, a large chair shaped so the occupant may lay back, with tables next to them and hookers next to each seat, similar to the one in the booths but with only one pipe. And on their immediate right, as they enter, is a small bar, added barely as an afterthought it seems, given how bare it is. The barman nods at them as he wipes down a wineglass.
How busy is this place?
It's fairly quiet. 3-4
Okay,
people in addition to you.
Awesome. Can I use heightened senses to try and listen in on some conversations?
Absolutely. Is that a rouse check?
It is
I don't think it
3.
is
I think it
rouse.
just adds to my dice pool.
You won't hear anything that's particularly incriminating. It's fairly boring conversations of the mundane, things that don't stand out to you, even just some gibberish from people who are particularly enjoying themselves tonight. Soon after you are inside, a man with dark skin in a tweed suit, holding a glass of what appears to be orange juice, strides over to the coterie, takes a seat next to you. Hate myself with this guy. Ah, hello! You must be the new patients. My name is Who. Doctor Who. I'm here to run a few tests and make sure you don't overindulge and are going to benefit from the wonders of opium. Don't worry, it's mostly a formality. Who would like to be the first?
I would like to go.
As soon as
Excellent.
Aldrich offers, can I sense the beast on this guy?
Yeah, again, free roll.
Oh, okay.
As far as you can. Oh yeah, show me Sense of Beast actually.
You'd be surprised, but I have a ton of discipline, so I have to remember which one's which.
I love that ambiguous wording.
It's straight from the book too.
I know. Do your roll for me, please.
So resolve. Oh. Aroused. No.
It's composure and subterfuge. As far as you can tell, he means you no harm. But you do see just the inkling of the beast inside of him. Nothing like a thin blood or a full-blown kindred. An echo.
I kind of motion to Aldrich. It's not a full-on yes or no, but kind of like a kinda. Yeah.
Before we get started, actually, do you know if individual by the name of Danvers is here?
Mr. Danvers?
Right.
Is it worth to know?
Your life, perhaps?
Oh, don't start out by threatening him. That's rude.
Well, I think it's a generous offer.
Do manipulation, intimidation.
While I do this, just because it's an effect of this, and I want to use all the weird vampire powers, but while I look at him and say this, can I have some of the bugs sort of just move about different orifices, maybe leak out a little bit when you crawl out of the ear and into the nose to add to this?
Yeah, and that's going to negate your -1 modifier, I think. 'Cause that's pretty grim.
That is a little terrifying. A man covered in flowers and crawling with bugs.
Okay. Scary but sweet. Manipulation, subterfuge. 4.
Boss is, Mr. Danvers. It isn't proper for me to know his first name. He's not here currently. But he has been purchasing furnishings for the business frantically. And honestly, I wonder how he's able to afford such things. But he does seem good for the money. Myself and Dr. Allenson, however, don't get paid. It's a privilege enough to work for Mr. Danvers. He provides us with food, shelter here. He visits once a week, checks to see how things are going, usually Wednesdays. Just a few days from now, in fact. Usually talks with a man named, Cyril Masters. Another regular here.
Was he here now?
Mr. Masters is not, no.
You wouldn't happen to know where either one of these men would be currently, then?
I do not know. However, I'm pleased to say I need to move on to the next one of you to be, assessed for the benefits of opium. Who would like to be the next one? You, sir? You will benefit most assuredly. Looking at Thurston.
Oh, I'm good, thank you.
While this is going on, could I have gone to the bar and ordered a cocktail with rum, pineapple juice, orange juice, cream of coconut?
Is that a sonic screwdriver?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll have that cocktail in my hand. I would like to go next, Doctor.
Sir, you have very weak pulse. In fact, I can't even detect one. I think some healthy opium will be very good for you. It may bring some colour back to your parlour also. In fact, you could all do with such colour. Though
Thank
the young
you.
lady
I,
here has some, but could still do with more. Please, let me measure some medicine out for all of you and have it delivered to your table as soon as possible.
And, good doctor, before you go, I'd like to give you a prescription as well. I'd hand you this. This is a painkiller. I hope you enjoy it.
Oh. Give it a sniff. I'm sorry, I don't imbibe alcohol.
It's prescription.
I am forbidden from consuming alcohol, sir.
Very well.
I'll leave it on the table. A few moments later, an extremely attractive, exotic lady, clad in a mix of golden necklaces, satin green, walks over to Thurston. Her thick, curled black hair drops over her green eyes as she runs her soft hands over Thurston's hands and arms, and softly whispers into his ear, "Let me take you somewhere more private."
Quite the gentleman tonight.
I'm gonna look to the coterie with just like a kind of both a confused look and then a switch to a bit of a curious look. I'll be right back.
Right, I heard what happened before when you got all, nervous and stunned by a woman. Play it cool this time, Thurston. Stay connected to yourself.
Sure, I'll cautiously follow her back.
Glamorous woman hooks her arms through Thurston. leading him off to a cordoned section of the room through heavy beaded curtains, swinging her hips like a pendulum as she leaves. The coterie just hear her saying to Thurston, "My name is Cleo," as they disappear. To Eveline's side, a large, muscular man of African origin appears and begins to whisper in her ear and gives her a smile, offering his outstretched hand.
Why not? And I'll take it.
Upon Eveline standing, the large esoteric man will pick Eveline up in his arms and carry her through the same heavy beaded curtains. Just as he disappears, Coterie overhear him say to her, "My name is Mr. Echo."
I'll kind of give the coterie a little wave. Echo.
Leaving Audrey and Inspector Grey alone with the Doctor. "I think that you two have more of a head for facts. You do not need some of the more lavish offerings this establishment offers. Simply medicine, correct?"
Right.
That's quite right.
Please, allow me a moment to dispense the correct amount. Perhaps, if you're willing, I shall join you to imbibe.
Be on it.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Indeed.
I shall be right back then. On that note, I think we'll be right back also. So hopefully, back in 20-30 minutes. Kendu, you would picture Kim Kardashian, really?
Kinda Kardashian.
May be from Memphis. What? There's a Memphis in Egypt.
And there's a Cairo in the USA.
I love Nitro's face there. They took Memphis from us? It's like, oh yeah, Memphis used to be the capital thousands of years ago. Captain fucking America.
No, that was me going, oh, I didn't know that.
Did you know that Orleans is in France? And that York is in UK? And New York used to be called New Amsterdam.
Interesting.
But what happened? In
Really? You
Istanbul?
don't know these things?
I knew most of those. I didn't know about the Amsterdam, but I knew about York and York and Orleans.
Well, you see,
and
the world
Hampshire.
didn't exist until the late 18th century when America finally existed, and then after that, you invented everything. Absolutely everything.
And Shiv, why do you guys have to name your Yorkshire after our New York? Jeez.
No originality. Ah. I don't know if there's anything else I need from him. Well, where do you live, Doctor?
I live here.
This is not a home, this is a business.
It can be both things.
Oh, do you mind showing me to your personal quarters? I run a
That is
similar
rather personal,
establishment,
isn't it?
and I've been thinking about maybe having some of my workers also live at the location.
I mean, if you so wish. Very well.
Are there any other endeavors that you know about this Mr. Danvers, or is it just here? I don't know if you work with him at large.
Oh, it's just here. He makes a very modest living, I would imagine, off here. I mean, it's not that this is the most popular spot in London, of course. It's the clientele that we cater for. And you'll notice, perhaps on busier nights, that we have many people of great esteem here.
Really?
All regulars. All regulars. We have, in fact, a former police constable that regularly comes here. Cyril Masters. Of course, publicly he denounces the place and everything that we do here. But he comes here regularly. Usually meets with Mr. Danvers himself.
Oh, you mentioned that.
Would I know him?
Cyril Masters? No, that was before. That was either before your time, or he was Metropolitan and you're not Metropolitan.
Okay.
If you have him in your journal, though, you might have met him at the ball.
I don't think.
But
Yeah, I don't think I talked.
I don't have anything.
I was at the library the other day. Since you mentioned Cairo, I was at the library some months
which
ago.
library?
Let me Google it, Chev.
Can't in 1888. Oh, 1892, sorry. You know, you could have just said the City of London Library.
London Library. I was at the London Library reading over some of the more recent books regarding the going ones out of Egypt, and I read a mention of something called a Nefron Ka. Have you heard of anything of the sort?
Africa. That's a name I hadn't expected to hear over here. It's something of a myth. Name of an ancient guardian of pharaohs, entombed with them to keep them guarded as they go to the afterlife.
That is most interesting. It's a wonder what the archaeologists are finding.
Yes, well, of course, anything of worth note brought here and put on display somewhere at some point.
These guardians, these like metaphysical guardians, or physical beings that were buried with them?
Oh, well, that really comes down to your beliefs, I suppose. According to the ancient Egyptians, their job was to guard their physical body in this realm, and also provide guard, navigation, and assistance in the next.
That's interesting. Well, I might have to take a meet later about the ins and outs of this place. I think this constable business. Do you know which? Bully doesn't know how constables work. Are they like attached to certain stations, or is that just like a citywide thing?
Though, oh god. In London, being relatively large, it's that there are two police forces at this point in time. There's the Metropolitan, which is dealing with the actual main city of London, and then there's the other police force, which I can't remember the name of, as well, which guards East End, West End, basically everything that isn't the city of London, but there is a small crossover line. And then within there, they're split by divisions.
So like we have 3 stations that they are possibly targeted. Would like a constable be attached to one of those, or it could be any of them?
He would be attached to a specific one.
Okay. That was what I'll ask. Or do you remember which station the constables does his work?
It's not often he talks about his work, and as I say, he has retired. But I believe one of the local constabularies, probably one of the Metropolitan Police Station, is one quite close by. It makes sense if he used that one, or was attached to that one.
Very well. Alright. Doctor, what was it again?
Who?
Right. You've been quite helpful, and I do think I will be, meeting you again soon, I hope. Inspector, if you want to gather all... let's give him a moment.
Very well. We'll give them some time then.
And Doctor Who will have probably fallen asleep as you're waiting, and then an unnumbered amount of minutes later, Thurston comes walking out of the heavily beaded curtains, and Eveline comes limping out behind him.
Right. Find what you were looking for.
I mean, I'm not really sure what I was looking for. I, for all intents and purposes, thought it was a trap, trying to get something out of me. We didn't really do anything. I wasn't really that interested. I'm also
He didn't have any information, no. In fact, he didn't speak much at all.
Are you alright? You look injured, perhaps. My mother used to look like that some nights.
Oh, no. Perfectly okay. Just need to smooth my dress.
Alright. I suppose everyone's ready. We might have a lead, on a nearby station.
As
You
we're
agree,
heading out-
Inspector? You think that's where we should go next? I'm not sure we have any other threads to pull.
Yes, I suppose so. Would I be able to contact my, contact?
How would you contact your contact?
Via letter?
Here's a fun
Courier?
fact for you I learned the other day. During Victorian times, it was very common to actually have 4 mail deliveries in one day. So you could send a letter that would be received the same day and send correspondence back that would be received the same day.
Interesting.
Isn't it funny how we've
Fancy.
gone backwards from that?
Now it takes a week.
Oh my.
Yeah, that is interesting. But yeah, I would have wanted to send a letter to set up a meeting to discuss basically to discuss with. While we're walking back, I'll talk to Thurston. Thurston, no need to be coy. I'm sure she was probing you for fashion.
No, she remained rather quiet and seemed actually quite bored of me after she realized I was quite interested.
Well, not everyone can be as fashionably dressed as you, I suppose.
Well, Inspector, such kind words tonight.
Alright, if you two are done flirting, we have a investigation to continue.
Just like Clara did for me earlier, I'm going to give the inspector a very noisy wink.
Oh. I'll just nod and look away.
Where are you heading?
So we had the locations on a map, right? So whichever I guess is the closest to this place.
Is the one that's the closest the same as the closest that the doctor was talking about?
It is now.
Did that make sense? Okay.
I thought it'd be one and the same, yeah.
It's walking distance, and so you've got enough time to walk down the streets and get anything off your chests you may wish to. Who is heading inside the police station?
Ooh, right.
You're still covered in lilies.
Right.
I look like this.
I will take the
Oh.
inspector's arm.
There we go. I will wait in the carriage.
No, wait.
Actually, just in case, I like to keep an eye on things. I'm gonna reach in, grab a handful of bugs. Inspector, you mind holding these in your pocket?
I suppose so. I'll take the bugs and I'll put them in my jacket pocket. There's
Right.
no reason.
Oh, I'll just know what's going on if things go awry.
Very well.
I'd always just tell you.
Well, then, if you're in trouble, you wouldn't be able to tell me, right? But they would.
Inspector Gray.
Just
and
be gentle with him, Inspector.
Inspector Gray and Eveline heading into the police station.
Yes.
Excellent. The police station is fairly busy, with bobbies walking in and out, some with raucous criminals being charged mostly for things related to public consumption and assault. A few of the passing officers nod to Inspector Gray as they continue their business. A sergeant with an impressive thick moustache approaches Inspector Gray and Eveline. Ah! Inspector Gray, good evening. Sergeant Pepper at your service. Perhaps you'd like to come help with an interrogation? Just for old time's sake. Got a lively one.
Sure.
Got pissed up and jumped our lot in Bethnal Green. Me and some of the lads are giving him an interview. Best your lady friend waits here, though this is official business after all.
I'll drop his arm.
Very well. Is there any sort of grounds? Is this a by the books interview, or?
You'll see, Inspector.
Very well.
Sergeant takes Inspector Grey through the station and into the back, past most of the cells, until the last isolated cell at the back, where two other policemen are already cheering on something out of the inspector's field of view. As he approaches the officers and cell, he can see one officer in there already, planting his fist over and over in the man's face, blood covering his own reddened knuckles, the prisoner's blood gushing out of his mouth, nose and ears, as the two other officers cheer him on, with blood spatters already over their uniforms and fists.
Let's see here. Yes, and what information are you looking to get out of him?
Whether or not he can survive a good beating from 3 officers.
So, the only stipulation is that he survived.
Ain't matter much.
Very well, and you don't need any information from him? Just... Okay. I suppose
I haven't had my turn, Inspector, but if you haven't lost your touch, you're welcome to take my turn for me. This is just, think of this as some street justice, evening out the odds after he jumped one of our lot.
Understood. I'll go ahead into the room, and I'll walk up to the individual, and I'll give him a kind pat on the shoulder. Now, I know they've been going easy on you, and I was just curious if you had any other friends who thought it was funny to attack bobbies or peelers.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of us over in Bethnal Green that ain't seen your like, and if we see you, we'll fucking jump the lot of you. Thousands of us. Bloody thousands.
Gotcha. Do any of these groups have a name? If I want to go looking for them. Looking for your
Potato
friend.
peelers.
And this is in Bethlehem, you said?
Bethnal Green, you cloth-eared motherfucker.
Bethel Green. I make a note of Bethel Green, so I take it you want me to go clean up your friends when I'm done with you.
You can try, but there's a lot more of us than there are of you, pig.
And, would I be able to try to perform a discipline covertly? Like, how could I roll that to try to
Well, it depends
keep
on what the
hidden?
discipline is. Some disciplines
Corrosive
have...
Vitae. I wanna see if I can dribble some or spit some like corrosive blood on it or something.
I think you could find a way to do that covertly.
Yeah, like kind of keep my body between me and the people watching.
Do a rouse check for me, please.
Okay. I'll say rather loudly, I've got this little bottle of something I'd like to show you. And I reach in my pocket as I'm kind of drawing the blood. As I'm kind of drawing the blood, and then I'll just kind of dribble it on him, like maybe on his leg, hand, face.
Do dexterity and stealth for me, please.
Sure.
Call that a bottle. I could fill that with my 3rd wank of the day.
I'll do a willpower reroll. I want more. 4. There we go.
And where did you say you were?
Little bit on his. I guess I'll have it kind of in my hand. I'll drip a little bit on his leg, a little bit on his arm, a little bit on his face.
And you'll notice that the corrosive vitae begins to literally burn through him. He begins convulsing in agony and screaming in absolute pain. It doesn't take him long before his screams wind down and he dies. I'm going to give you 1 humanity stain for that.
Alright.
Because the man wasn't innocent, but I was sadistic.
I'll walk out and I'll say to Sergeant Pepper, sorry you didn't get your turn, but he suffered a great deal of pain.
He deserved it. Come take a walk with me, Inspector. That was,
I will, go walk with him.
that was some interesting work you did there. Tell me, how'd you feel about cats?
Though on the streets, I don't particularly care for them.
That's a shame. It's a shame. You see, there's a society you might enjoy the company of. Now you may wish to change your philosophy on cats.
Very well. What does this have to do with cat?
You'll see. Maybe. Freemason's Tavern on Great Queen Street in the West End. Go there on your own. And say that you're waiting for the time to set.
Very well.
Don't go spreading around that you don't like cats, though. You evil bastard.
I suppose I'll find a newfound appreciation for cat.
Good.
So that's
And
Freemasons where?
Freemason's Tavern on Great Queen Street in the West End.
Waiting for the sun to set?
You're waiting for the time to set.
Waiting. Got it. Thank you. I'll follow up on this lead. Much appreciated.
And he leads you back into the hallway, where you see Eveline patiently waiting, probably with a handkerchief to her nose, in abject disgust at most of the criminals going in and out. Thank you for your assistance, Inspectors. Refreshing to see you haven't lost your touch. You've actually learned some new moves.
Indeed. I find every now and then if you get a little, if you use some tools, you can help extract some information.
Yeah, you're going to have to teach us that one.
Perhaps, maybe one day.
I hope so. Good evening, Inspector. Miss?
I'll nod and tip my hat.
No curtsy.
Audrey and Thurston, are you doing anything in particular in the carriage together?
So you can actually see from like the bug's perspective.
Well, if I wanted to, maybe. I've let you in on a little secret. I'm actually able to do that with Thurston and other animals. Haven't tried it with the bugs yet.
Really?
But if something were to happen, the bugs know to come immediately to me.
Interesting. I wonder if I could eventually. I don't think I want to store the bugs, you know, it kind of diminishes the the fanciness of the clothes, and if people see bugs crawling.
Oh, that's why you put him inside this, and I can make you a little bug holder too. As long as there's just a little bit of blood for them to sort of feed off of, they stay quite loyal and obedient to you.
I don't know. It's just quite vile thinking of itty bitty creepy crawlies all huddled under anything.
I mean, I find it comforting, this, and our heart doesn't beat anymore, but I've gotten a kind of a little tickling sensation now beneath the ribs, and it makes me feel more human to have an unliving hive in me.
Yeah, I don't think I want to feel any tickling within my ribs.
Oh, well, yeah, apparently you're not into that sort of thing.
It is fun to learn, though.
Well, if you ever want help learning things like this, I'd be happy. I'm just, people, my gang serves me quite well. My coterie serves me sometimes. But I'm starting to learn these nights that, animals and whatnot really are overlooked even more so than some people, and I found use for a lot of them, right?
It's true. Yes, I guess animals have a lot less issues with loyalty than people do, so it makes sense. Have a lot less personal needs, personal biases.
Right, and they're everywhere, right? In the city, no one pays them any mind. So doesn't it make you feel better knowing that at any time, at any place, I could be watching?
It's only somewhat terrifying, but
I thought it'd be a source of comfort for you to know that your good friend Aldrich's everywhere.
Maybe. Well, since you explained to me how that worked, I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but I too have been kind of keeping bugs in my pockets, and I pull out a little vial out of my pocket, and it's just got a living spider crawling around in it. I always keep one of these on me, just in case we need to get a better vantage point. I just haven't had the situation call for it yet.
Interesting. Well, you'll have to teach me that one. Although I don't really have problems getting around.
True.
Good to know. I feel that as our enemies grow in number every night, it's good to have a few tricks up our sleeves.
Exactly.
As Audrey and Thurston finish their conversation about the tangled webs they weave, Inspector Grey and Eveline enter into the carriage.
Alright, how did that go?
It went rather well. So I got a tip. I was told to go alone, though. Apparently, they appreciated my my interrogation technique and wanted to let me into a club of sorts.
Alright.
I suppose
sort
at
of
least
club?
give me the offer. I believe it's a cat appreciation club.
Go along.
Alas, I was told to go alone, but if I gain the ability to initiate new members, then you'll be at the top of my list, Evelyn.
Aw, thank you.
I don't want to claim any expertise, but this might be pointing towards our Setite problem as well. From what I understand, in a lot of Egyptian murals and artwork, they do love their fair share of felines.
True. Is there anything else? They just to be expecting you. They know that you're just gonna show up and that'll be fine.
I've been referred. I was told to go to a place, and they told me the secret phrase, so to say.
What is that?
Something about waiting for the time or something of the other.
Are you sure it's not here, kitty kitty?
I don't believe that's the case.
Interesting. Well, if it's something like waiting for the time to set or something very quite obvious tying them to these people, then I would be concerned. But it seems like this might be safe. Well, I think you should proceed alone and have no worries.
Very well, Audrey. Thank you for your vote of confidence. And, yes, it is something regarding waiting for time to set, yes, indeed.
Oh, well then this might have something to do with those damn setites. In that case, I'm not sure it's best that you go in alone.
He still has your bugs in his pocket.
Alright. Evelyn, we need a way for you to get in and out of places. You think they would... I mean, I think you could talk your way in, perhaps with a vote of confidence from a member who's been recommended. What do you think? You try to get her in the front door, or let her turn on her charm to get herself through the front door with you. While that's going on, myself and Thurston can sneak inside, and that way we're all there.
Well, perhaps, maybe what would be best is if everyone was nearby, but I went in alone, and then I can see what they have to offer, say what I need to say, join any groups, and then I can come back and enlighten everyone.
I hope so. You're walking into the snake den. I just hope they let you back out. Very well.
Tavern seems to be a tavern in name only, as the imposing large white building hangs over the street, blocking the night sky and stars. The front double doors, shaped like a church's, hang open, revealing the modest hallway and reception inside. From the streets, the coterie can already see a very smartly dressed man standing behind the reception desk, his arms neatly crossed behind his back.
How are you doing today, sir?
Good evening, sir.
And this is a tavern?
You're in a reception area.
Reception.
Tavern.
Can we hear any of this, or can Aldrich hear any of this?
Audrey definitely can.
Okay, so the location, it's just a tavern. It's okay, the Freemasons tavern, and I'm just in the reception. Okay. Yes. Do you have any sitting areas? I'm waiting for time to set.
Ah, are you alone, sir?
Yes, I am alone.
And what is the name?
My name?
It would be best to give me your name, but you could give me anyone's name if you so wish, but I would still require yours.
My name, you can call me Gray.
Very well. The man raises his left arm and gestures to an unassuming door on the wall with a small, coiled golden snake upon it.
I will go to the door and enter.
Inspector Gray opens the door, revealing behind it the fairly large room, decorated with golden cat statues, sat either side of small sandstone archways with exotic writings and symbols etched into them. Several men are all conversing with each other. A couple Inspector Grey recognizes from his time on the force. Only a few moments of standing in their resplendent room, a fairly young-looking man approaches the inspector. "Good evening, sir. Mr. Roger Pierce, how do you do? How do you do? How do you do?"
Good evening, Mr. Pierce. You can call me Mr. Gray. I'm doing quite well this fine night. How about yourself?
Ah, very well, very well. I say, sir, it's a relief to finally see someone else here with a similar outlook on the world. He turns his head around to make sure no one is within earshot as he extends his hand to Inspector Grey. "I am Roger Pierce, child of Cyril Master, grandchild of Valerius, great-grandchild of Bindasara, of the Ventru clan. A pleasure to meet you."
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance as well.
"And you, sir?"
I am, I'm a child of, Hakim.
"Ah, you don't know your lineage. A
I
pity,
do
a
not.
pity. I've heard someone named Ferguson that is also a member of our society also frequents here. Perhaps we will meet him upon full induction to the society."
Perhaps. They have some, lovely feline cat statues.
Slightly gaudy for my taste.
But gold is precious. Much better than bronze statues, that's for sure.
Do you think they're actually gold?
I'm not sure. I'm no expert on metals.
Yeah,
Not my area of expertise.
I suppose they're quite impressive, but it'll take more than displays of gold cats to impress me.
What are you looking for as a display to impress you, then?
There's only one display. That's what you rule over.
Ah, indeed.
You have millions of jewels and have no empire to your name, and yet these jewels would still be worthless.
Territory and power often do go hand in hand.
A full induction here, by the way, requires proving loyalty to the chapter. Though for us, I believe we both know where our loyalties lie. My sire has sent me here to help spread his own influence. What brings you here, my friend?
Well, I was helping a friend out, and, I suppose they appreciated my interrogation tactics and told me that I should stop by and I might find some kindred spirits.
Ah, so you have genuine interest in joining the society.
Oh, we'll see what they have to offer.
Interesting. Be careful with your open mind. Anyone can just walk in.
But can anyone just leave?
An open mind is like a fortress with its doors open.
Yes, I suppose that's true. Some of us are better with mental fortitude than others.
As you're conversing, an elegantly dressed Middle Eastern man walks out, gathers the entire room's attention, and begins to address you all. "Gentlemen," his best Middle Eastern accent, "you have all been invited here, as you've shown potential to be new, valued members of our exclusive chapter. However, Before we can introduce you properly to our society, we must ask that you prove yourselves. It is a simple task. We merely ask for tribute. Bring us a cat. Any cat. And you shall be judged upon your offering. Bring your feline tribute here. Be judged, and if worthy, you will be inducted. Until then, we wish you well. And good night all. The man nods his head and walks through a door, leaving the small crowd to their own devices.
I'll say to Mr. Pierce, well, I suppose we won't be getting any clarity this session. We'll have to find some cat.
Indeed, I wonder what kind of cat they expect. An odd request.
Yes, did they want a living feline or a golden feline? Are they looking
Very
for
good question. I hadn't even considered that.
a house cat or a serval? I wonder if anyone's ever shown up with a tiger.
Say, those bastards are very imprecise.
Perhaps it would be best, if we have the means, to bring them as many cats as possible of different variety.
I'm not sure. You said bring a cat. Besides,
That's true.
where would you put all those cats? What do you think you are, some sort of pussy magnet?
Perhaps I could have a golden Trojan cat with cats inside of it.
How would you wheel
Very
it
well. By pushing it, I suppose.
How would you convince many cats to get inside the other larger cat?
Herding cats is a skill indeed. But not impossible. I think a little tuna can be quite an incentive. Very well, I suppose I should be off then. I have some catnapping to do.
Make sure you wake up, otherwise you might be considered catatonic.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mr. Pierce, was it?
Yes.
Thank you. I hope you have a good night tonight.
And you.
And I will head out.
You reunite with the coterie, awaiting outside in Audrey's carriage.
Ah, Audrey, were you able to catch any of that?
Was I?
Well, you mentioned I still have your bugs in my pocket, do I not?
I mean, I can't hear through them. Well, I have very, very good hearing on my own. Would I? I don't know how good, if it was good enough to eavesdrop on that, or
No, I don't think
You'll have to let me know,
to
sure.
hear that one.
I don't think
My
so either.
apologies. I guess I misunderstood how these bugs work. I thought they were some sort of listening devices.
I mean, in a way, just keep them on you. Don't ask questions. It's simple.
Very well. It
I
was.
tell you.
Go ahead.
No.
It was a strange course of events. I just went in. I met a rather pleasant fellow named Roger Pierce, who is the child of serial masters and then child of some other people I didn't pay attention to. But
Valerius?
yes, this. Oh, was Valerius? Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Viral Masters, Valerius, Bindasara,
Valerius.
Ventru. Think.
So that was Serial
can't-
Masters, Child of Valerius, Child of Bin.
You can trace it back to Bindasara.
Yeah. Oh yes, Roger Pierce, quite a pleasant fellow, and he mentioned he is the child of a Serial Masters, and he also mentioned that Serial Masters is the child of one Valerius.
Interesting.
Yes.
Right.
Interesting indeed. And then as for the actual Setite group themselves, there was some snake iconography and some cat iconography. But there was no information given. Individuals simply came out and said our worthiness to join would be based on the cat we brought back for tribute. So to find a cat. They didn't
I could
specify.
fashion some cat ears to a headband, and then I could get in.
You think that I should bring you in as my tribute cat?
It would be a way to get in.
I'm sure Aldrich and I could just summon a cat. They're not much bigger than rats.
Perhaps. But would a gold cat not last longer? Or even a silver cat?
Well, if it's for tribute, whatever kind of cat you find, make sure it doesn't belong to anyone you know.
Where are we going to
Perhaps.
get a gold cat in London at this time of night?
That's a fair point. Perhaps to make as great a tribute as possible, I should bring a large cat. Like a tiger or a lion.
And where do you expect to find something like that?
Are there any carnivals or zoos in town? Did they have zoos and carnivals in the
They had
1800s?
zoos and carnivals. That's not. I'm like, what kind of shit. I was going to say,
You
what
know
kind
we'd
of
be
shit
robbing a zoo this session?
has a cat, but shit zoo is a dog. I knew where that was going to go. What kind of a lame ass zoo has a cat on display?
No,
You're saying he
he's
wants a tiger.
Tiger.
Yeah,
A
what's
tiger
or
is
a
a
lion?
pet.
He wants to steal a tiger.
I understand you want in this club, but I can't imagine every member who gets in brings a tiger. We might be able to bring in something more reasonable.
I suppose, as always, you make a lot of sense. Trick.
If I was running a club, you brought in a tiger, you'd be top of my list though. I think that's great. You'd make a huge impression, but we're not actually trying to get in the club. We just need in just to investigate. I like that ambition though. Right, I think we should summon some cats. Select the best of them, or the best few of them, and I could change the best few into the best one, and I'll make you the best cat they've ever seen.
I quite like that idea, Trick. The best cat they've ever seen. No one can do
Alright.
that but you, surely.
Surely. All right.
Can I, just for there's no real reason why I need to do this, but I want to. Can I summon a cat into the carriage?
Which power is that one?
Kitty, kitty.
Shower whispers.
Okay. Yep. Do a rouse check for me, please. And I want to say it as well on stream so it isn't lost, but you are actually doing the Kit Kat route.
We are making a Kit Kat.
Now I don't want to do it. playing into his puns.
Manipulation and animalism.
Aminal.
Minimal. Immunal. Amrenal. Yeah, that's good enough for a cat too.
Okay, never mind.
I mean, you're gonna get a really scraggy looking stray cat.
Perfect, because I was
Jumps.
just gonna like Dr. Evil it.
Jumps into the carriage on your lap with mottles of fur and skin showing. Hisses at everyone else, exposing one long tooth and broken half canine, and then settles in on your lap and starts purring.
See, Inspector, it's simple.
Can I pet your kitty?
Be careful, he bites.
Thurston, have you ever heard that turn of phrase that pets often resemble their owners?
I think it's quite fitting, actually.
Indeed, I do agree.
Oh, now I'm curious. I'm gonna summon cats too.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
I know exactly what kind of cat you're going to get. Yep.
3 successes.
Fitting.
Audrey waits a small amount of time until finally a bold sphinx cat jumps into the carriage and nestles in on his own lap.
The fuck is that?
No, I
Is that a
kind of
cat?
like him. It looks a bit Egyptian too. This might be perfect, actually.
Yes, I think this cat does remember those golden statues they had. It has quite a resemblance. Much more so than Thurston.
Perfect. All right, let's get these cats back in the lab. I'll make a much better cat, and then we'll come back here. It's also important to note if a grandchild of Valerius working with the Setites. Be interesting. Right, the Setites don't get along with Mithras, right? And Valerius wants to overthrow Mithras, so it seems like the Setites might be another avenue for that. Everyone that Mithras kicks out, Valerius seems to welcome with open arms and bringing them into the fold. The Tremere, now the Setites.
Yes, well, I believe Roger Pierce is there for information. He was quite surprised when I allowed him to believe I was there because I was interested in joining.
Oh, interesting. Right, but if he wants information, I still think he plans on using them. That's what I would do if I was him. It's kind of what I'm already doing. I'm picking up the scraps that aren't wanted, and I'm building something out of it. Seems Valerius is doing a similar thing.
Indeed, indeed.
Alright, let's go make a cat.
Do you really need mine? I think
Yes.
it might be detrimental to our mission.
Right.
It's
No,
so
there's a lot of
cute.
workable bits in your cat that I will need for this cat.
If you say so. I don't know, he kind of has a charm to him that I like.
The coterie
Yeah, let
head
me
back.
be-
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The coterie head back into the Whitechapel house and attend with the cats in hand in Aldrich's surgery.
On all the way back, I keep petting the cat, every once in a while discarding a patch of fur that comes off.
Aldrich, you're going to make the best cat.
A top cat.
Top cat. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna get to work. Keeping my cat alive, but maybe using parts of the other cat to enhance or just have extra meat to use to make this a very large, pristine example of what
What legs
the
is
most.
this cat going to have?
No, it's gonna be a regular cat. It's just this was a street cat, so I'm using some of this meat on his meat to round him out. I just want this to be a large, pristine example of like what you'd see in like what you think of when you think like an Egyptian cat. It doesn't currently have fur, so I will help it grow fur. Hopefully a nice black silky coat. Something regal. Ooh, maybe like I like the golden cat idea, so I'm gonna try to give it like golden eyes.
Roll flesh crafting for me,
As
please.
if this roll goes wrong.
This is one of the most amazing moments of flesh crafting, I think, in any game of VTM ever.
Gold fire.
Damn,
So what
past
did you
that
do in
roster.
VTM this week, Bully? I made a fucking amazing cat. And
Oh,
you did
God.
make a fucking amazing cat.
It's a critical.
Messy critical. This is gonna be like a devil cat.
Maybe maybe the person. Oh, we'll see.
Audrey successfully uses parts from the scraggly street cat, mixing it together with the Sphinx cat, applying more fur, making it bigger, and adjusting the colour of its eyes. He works in a trance, not realizing that the beast is taking over as he completes his work, and the cat looks upon him and the rest of the coterie and lets out a loud, threatening hiss, and leaps upon Aldrich, tearing its claws into his face and scratching at the lilies upon him, which immediately resurface. You will take 3 superficial damage. And
I'm
the
just
cat-
gonna stand there not doing anything, but I'm gonna be like, no, bad kitty, stop. No, we're taking
Kitty,
the
kitty, kitty,
bird."
kitty.
And
Come
the
here,
cat
kitty.
leaps off of Aldrich's clawed face and goes into a dark corner, hissing and clawing at anyone that approaches.
He's perfect. Right, so you had to use some of the bones and claws from your cat, Thurston, to really give him ones that'll really. You saw it fucked me up with that, right? See, it's that's the beauty of my designs, right? Things usually look nice on the outside, but I make those improvements to the dangerous bits. Denser bones, sharper claws.
You somehow gave it my cat's personality too. That's quite impressive.
This is the perfect cat.
Indeed, indeed.
It's a monster, but he looks wonderful. I did maybe mess something up in the procedure, though. I'm not sure if you plan on keeping this as a cat for long, or if they'll take it. But don't let them feed it regular food. This one will only eat lasagna, by design.
Well, hopefully it will imbibe some vitae. I was hoping to keep it docile somewhat, at least until presented. I'll see
Not on
if
a
I
Monday,
can.
though.
I'll see if I can offer the cat some vitae to see if it will take it.
Oh, Lord.
Who's Vitae?
Mine.
Do a rouse check for me, please.
Okay.
Gain a hunger and roll Gorefield. I like that. And roll
Gorefield.
That's
charisma
amazing.
and animalism.
Oof.
Keeping that.
Ooh. Okay. Charisma and animal ken?
Yes. But don't
Can
call me
I,
Ken, the name Shiver.
Can I use Feral Whispers to assist him in any way?
Show me Feral
You can give him
Whispers.
some of your blood too.
Because Feral Whispers is specifically asking cats or asking the animal to do something.
I wanted to see Greg get mauled.
I mean, me too, but I'm gonna lower the probability.
Yeah. Yeah, alright. Do a roll. Do a rouse check for me, please, Thurston.
Okay.
Do the roll. Manipulation and animalism.
Yep.
That's going to give a +1 modifier to Inspector Grace.
And I'm also surgeon. I did. That's what my second. Wow.
You better hope it's not a Monday.
And you can't re-roll.
I can't.
Nope.
Oh, I
Well, I
can't.
mean, you can, but there wouldn't be much point unless you want to go
It would
crayfish.
just be detrimental to me. Oh wait, only one of those should be. Oh well, but only two of those. I actually raised my hunger before. That's. Oh well, it doesn't.
I mean, it still counts as a success anyway. Would you like success at cost, though?
Success at cost versus success.
This is a
Versus the beast.
success.
Oh, you know what? I will take success at cost. That is.
Wonderful.
I figure having a cat that likes my slightly blood bonded will be a lot easier to deal with.
Going to end really well. Inspector Gray opens a wound on his forearm and bleeds into a handy nearby bowl, managing to persuade the cat to come forth and lick the vitae in front of him, using the time-honoured, foolproof method. Pss, 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 pss. The cat walks forward, and Inspector Gray attempts to stroke it. As he does so, the beast inside of him rears up, screaming at him, and overtakes his action. He grasps at the cat, breaks its neck, and sinks his fangs into the body, drinking from it. You may slake one hunger, but the cat is dead.
What was that
Wait.
cat?
Isn't that failure at a cost then? When you're trying to
No,
feed
he
it
wanted to
blood?
persuade it to come out and lick from the bowl, so it did.
Oh, got it.
So
You know,
technically, he was
Inspector-
successful.
You know, Inspector, this is why we can't do nice things. You tend
Oh,
to get a bit aggressive.
I was trying to ghoul the cat.
It was just
Yes,
too
and-
perfect.
Yes.
And I guess the
We've been able to interfere in that. I think it's just a
I
cat.
imagine
thing. I
Audrey could be
think-
pretty mad.
Yeah, I don't think it would
I
have
made
sat
it
by and
cat.
let him if he would. Well, you know what? No, he wouldn't be able to stop the next snap. That'd happen like that. The feeding
Would-
maybe, but by then it's already dead.
would the vampire vitae in the cat help it heal at all? Oh, okay.
From a broken neck.
Well, Audrey, I certainly
What about
appreciate
our
your
dead cat?
efforts, but it looks like I won't have a cat to give the setup. My apologies.
Right. I'll remember this.
I would too. I happily gave my cat to you, and then you used it, and then he killed it.
I did not mean to. I meant to merely feed it my blood, but something went wrong.
You know what though? I mean, all the parts are still here. Really, if we just get another cat, we can keep this going.
I did quite like that Sphinx cat with the golden hair, though. It was quite beautiful.
Golden eyes.
And golden eyes, yes.
Right, yeah, let's just get another one. I mean, that's our only way in, right? We need a cat. Now that I know I can do it, let's do it again. Unless there's a different plan of getting in, because I don't know another route from here.
I can still get some paper mache and make myself some ears.
I think that's worthwhile doing as well.
Oh, perhaps you can fleshcraft Lady Evelyn to become the Sphinx cat.
Actually, I was just about to do that with you, Greg, because you got rid of my last cat. I was about to make you the new cat, but then I remembered you're the one who has to bring the cat, so that wouldn't work.
Indeed.
You've gotten off on a technicality. Alright, I'm going to whip up another one. Inspector Gray, you get far away from my laboratory.
I think at this time of night coming into dawn, you probably won't have enough time to administer your skilled touch. So
We shall wait.
yeah, we'll carry that one on over for next week. I will make a note of that right now of cat monster creation. And does anyone have any last minute things before we call it in for this week? No? So that was a catastrophe. You've certainly made problems.
Jesus.
It was close. It was close. But you failed by a whisker.
All right, Shiv, quit pussyfooting around.
So, we will bring... we will bring this week's episode to a close. Inspector Gray, who are you? Where can we find you? What do you do? Do you do things apart from killing cats? Let's find out.
I am Nascavian. I play on a Table of Horrors every Thursday, VTM. You can also find me in the Discord, just at me.
And do you speak Catanese?
I do not.
It showed. Thurston, who are you? What do you do? Do you do things? Let's find out.
I am Nitro Type at. I am everywhere practically. I'm practically everywhere at Nitro Type at. I don't have anything personally, but like I try and remind everybody every week, we play video games of some sort on Mondays, and right now we are working on putting together a play-by-post thing on our Discord server, and we will hopefully have that done and send invites out once we reach 400 followers on Twitch. So if you aren't following, go ahead and follow now. If you know somebody that likes play-by-post stuff and they don't know about us, go tell your friends. Other than that, yep.
And we had a very fun game of Phasmophobia this week.
Oh, we did, yeah. I tried to edit a clip from it, and about halfway through, my computer crashed while I was working on it. So I lost all my progress. But I had Shiver laughing pretty hard.
Audrey, who are you? What do you do things? Let's find out.
I am Bully. I run things over at Table Goth. Most of our stuff can be found on YouTube. We have vampire games, tutorials. I finally recorded another one that will be up there at some point when I can be bothered to edit it. And we run Hades High School. It's the Monster Arts game at Tuesdays for the next couple weeks.
And I
Or you'll see Shiver harass me in the chat.
I was finally able to get it out that he dressed like a pimp.
Yeah.
And
You
the
weren't
best
wrong.
bit was one of your players joined in with it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Eveline, who are you? What do you do? Let's find out.
I am Ms. Hearts. You can find me just about anywhere as Ms. Hearts. I also have my first show with the Bat City Bombshells called Tits or Treats. It's a Halloween show on October 29th. Hey? You
Hang
know
on.
what the show is from that, right?
Tits or treats?
Tits or Treats, yes. It's like the best of both worlds. Anyway. So if you're in the Austin area, come check that out. It won't be streamed. It's a live show. And if you need any graphic design or promotional products, go to gibopromo.com.
I don't think we're going to be able to follow up tits or treats.
12th annual.
Must be very popular. We've got next week a game at some point during the week. Another episode of London by Gaslight and Oxford by Night next week, where we may have a new coterie member.
Another
That's what
one.
we've got for
Nice.
next week. Yeah. Check out links down below for Twitter, Discord, etc., so you can keep up to date with what's going on, when it's going on, and so on. And all that's left for me to
And
do
if
is say,
anything's, if any of the stuff down there is broken, at me, I'll fix it. Discord links like to break a lot, so.
your legs are broken and they're down there. So all that's left for me to say is thank you for coming and watching. Thank you, players, for coming and playing. It's an honour and a privilege. And we'll go raiding on Carrion Comfort Studios, who are playing some tabletop RPG that I can't make out because my head is killing me. But of course, we cannot go until Bully says the line.
Have a perfect night.